What's up, y'all? It's Danny from Thrifted Wolf. Today I just wanted to make I want to say a quick little video, but I feel like it's gonna be kind of long because I'm gonna cover basically everything I know or have learned about thrift flipping clothing, and also how you can make a profit off of it. I'm gonna kind of talk about that, but I think I'm gonna make a different video about making profit from making clothing. Right here I have like my 5 top tips, but I'm probably gonna rant about multiple things, so there's gonna be a lot of stuff I'm gonna cover in this video. And I do want to mention I have only been thrift flipping and I've only been sewing for a year, but I sew every single day for like at least 6 hours. I mean, sometimes I'll take the day off, but I do. A lot of people say like, oh, I have 10 years experience or I have 5 years experience, but they probably only sew like once a week or whatever. I do this every day, and I've experimented so much, different fabrics, different patterns. Like, I'm always experimenting and trying new things. So yeah, I just feel like I have a very broad perspective, or very broad like experimentations that I can share with you guys. So my very first tip is about the machine you have. So I actually got like I don't even know what model it was. It was just like a Singer model that I got off Facebook Marketplace. It was $20, and I used that bad boy for like, I don't even know, like 4 months. I made a lot of stuff with that machine. So if you can't like afford a nice one or a new one, just get one off like Marketplace or Etsy. They probably will have issues. They'll probably like, I mean, mine had so many issues. Like, the bobbin would be coming out, like the string would constantly break, it'd be coming out of timing, it would have so many issues, but that's what I could afford and it worked. What I do recommend, if you're planning on getting a used machine, look for a Singer model, because, or Juki. I don't know if you'll be able to find like a Juki model or Brother. But definitely Singer. If you can get a Singer model, I highly recommend. Those machines have been highly rated by me and a bunch of other artists I know. For like kind of stemming off that a little bit, make sure you're cleaning your machine, especially if you're using a bunch of funky fuzzy fabrics, or even if you're not, make sure you're cleaning your machine, because I didn't clean my machine because I didn't think, like, I don't know, I guess I didn't think you had to clean it. And that's like why I was having so many issues, is because it wasn't being cleaned. And what I mean by cleaning is you don't need to like open the whole thing up and like clean it out, but mostly just kind of unscrewing like that plate by the bobbin and just kind of getting like a paintbrush or something to just scooping out that fuzz. And then if you want to go a little extra, make sure it's oiled often. You can get oil for like $4 off of Amazon. For needles, I use 9514, or maybe it was 9014. It's kind of like a universal simple needle, but which it worked fine, but I did break a lot of needles. Like just yesterday, okay, I actually just discovered this needle type, but just yesterday I was still using 9414 needles. I broke 5 in one day, but that's kind of normal for me. I just like go through needles so much because I thought it was normal. But I recently discovered these needles. I don't know if you can see that, but I was talking to a lady at the sewing machine store, and she had this like whole book about needles. But these needles are jeans. They're 110/18. They're meant for jean fabric, I guess, but they work so well with literally everything. I just made like 3 different entire like fit looks, and I didn't break any needles. But yeah, these things are awesome. Okay, so that was my first tip. Now on to number 2. Buy in bulk from cheap thrifts. So me personally, I have a lot of thrift stores in my area back in Florida where like clothing is 20 cents a piece, or like clothing's $1 a piece. So I'm really lucky. But I'm back in Michigan for a little bit, and the thrift stores around here are kind of like pricey. Like, there's a lot of Goodwills which I try to stay away from Goodwills, but like I go if I have to. But a lot of thrift stores are like $4 for like a piece of clothing, which can be a lot, honestly, for me. So I highly recommend just doing your research. But there has to be, like, even if it's like an hour or two away, there has to be some sort of like thrift store where they have like bins that are like 20 cents a piece or $1 a piece. So just save up your money, do a big trip out there, fill up garbage bags full of clothing, so then you're just stocked for a while, because it's so worth it to do that instead of buying a t-shirt for $4. It's kind of ridiculous how expensive it's getting. Also, kind of stemming from that, if you can buy blankets, there's so much fabric in a blanket that you can use, especially if you're doing patchwork. Try different things. I saw this like quote once, I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was like about this dad who he sits at the dinner table with his kids, and he's like, instead of asking like, how was your day, or what was a good thing that happened today to you guys, he'll ask, what did you guys fail at? He'll ask this to his kids, and if their kids don't have anything to say, that means they didn't try hard enough. If you didn't fail at something or do something really bad, it means you didn't really put yourself out there. So I love like having this mindset when it comes to clothing. Every single day I try something new, especially if you want to do this for a business. You want to stand out, so you need to try new things as often as possible. All right, tip number 4, I think. I have some props to show you guys. I'm gonna read the thing first. Save the pieces of sweaters, strings, shirts that you don't think you'll need. Don't hoard everything, like don't hoard all your scraps, because that is stressful. I used to do that, and I don't know, only hoard the stuff you need. But I'm gonna show you some things that you could use that you don't think that you would use. One thing being is some string. There are these from sweatshirts I like to cut off. Make sure you leave some like extra fabric when you're cutting them, so you can sew it on, because if you cut like right here, it's kind of hard to attach it to a new garment that you might make. But yeah, when you're making like sweaters or sweatshirts, it's so hard to mimic this like stretch thing. Otherwise, like I don't know, it's just like awkward. So when you save these and just sew them on to a sweatshirt that you're making, it's so nice, and it gives it a little, I don't know, it looks different, it looks cool, especially when they're like different colors, kind of stands out. So yeah, save these. Also, the bottom of sweatshirts, this stretch thing is so nice, because if you make a sweater and like you don't have this, it's kind of just like looks boxy. I don't know, maybe that could be your style, but I feel like sometimes it looks funky. So if you just sew one of these boys on the bottom, it like completes the look. Also like the neck ones, I don't know if I have one. No, I don't. Oh well, I have this. But sometimes there's like an elastic on the neckline, or even like cutting hoods off, so you can sew a hood onto like a patchwork sweater you might make. This was like a button down jacket thing, but I saved this button. I don't know, you can make a pocket out of it, or I don't know, just something random. It's kind of cool, this like little buttons. Because these, if you buy button stuff or zippers from like the fabric store, they're so annoying to like actually sew on. So if you just like cut it from something, you just sew right on the fabric, you're good to go. One last thing about this little pile is, I've never seen anyone do this, but it's something I found out early on. So if you have like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, or no, just t-shirts, they have like this elastic bottom on the bottom. It's like, I don't know, it's not elastic, but it's like stretchy. So what I like to do is I like to cut it, before I even cut apart my thrifted shirts, I like to cut off this bottom thing all the way around, and I use it as a tie string for my pants, so I don't have to buy them. And also it's kind of cool that literally everything in my pants is thrifted besides the elastic. for like the waist. Yeah, so this kind of goes with like experimenting. Like you might save things I might not even save, so I feel like it's just important to know that almost everything can be reused. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. All right, tip number 5. How long is this going for? 12 minutes? That's not bad. I feel like I'm talking fast because I felt like this was gonna be longer, but this is good. It's not as long as I thought it would be. Okay, tip number 5 is patterns from thrifted clothing. I did this just yesterday. I wanted to make some pants and I just bought a pair of sweatpants that I liked the exact way that they fit me, and so I cut apart the sweatpants and basically just use that as a pattern, because you can buy patterns off Etsy or from the like a sewing store, and basically that would be like cardboard or like thick paper that you would like copy for whatever you're making. But if you just cut apart a pair of pants, or like you like the way a sweatshirt fits you, just cut apart the sweatshirt and just basically copy exactly the pattern of it and then sew where it would be sewn. Like, I hope that makes sense. Okay, let me kind of show you. So like, say you wanted to make a t-shirt. So you can see there's a seam right here. So you would cut off this seam. You would, well, there's no seam on the side, but imagine there is. You would cut on the seam from the armpit to the bottom of the shirt. So basically, you would have like a template. You would have the front of the shirt, you would have the back of the shirt, and then you would have like a sleeve template. So basically you would copy the templates with your fabric, and then you would sew it the way it was sewn. I hope that makes sense. Also, when you're copying these patterns, know that you need like a good extra, like when you're copying things you cut up, because you're gonna sew it together, so you need extra room. I don't know, this is hard to explain. I feel like you'll understand once you start making some stuff. Yeah, that's all I have for things I've learned about making thrift flips. I think I want to do like a video about how to make money from thrift flips, or like another video about how to make money from your crafts. I don't know, I have a lot of video ideas, but if you guys have any questions or any ideas of what I should make a video about, I know a lot of you want to know about my dreadlocks, so I think I'm gonna make a video about that as well. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. I'm gonna be a basic YouTuber and say like and subscribe if you haven't already, only because when you guys are like liking my stuff and subscribing, it really helps me to like grow my channel, and it knows that like I'm making a difference, I'm helping you guys, which pushes me to want to make more for you guys, because I feel like if I'm not really getting that feedback, it's like, oh, like do they really like want this kind of stuff? It makes me feel like maybe you guys don't really care too much about it. But yeah, anyways, so if you guys would do all that, I'd greatly appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can message me on Instagram. My handles are below, but it's also thrifted.wolf, or if you want to email me, which is like the best way to contact me, it's thriftedwolf@gmail.com. Yeah, I usually only take like 2 days to reply, and I reply to everyone. Like, I reply to every single person. I won't leave you hanging, and I do not gatekeep anything. If you want the exact place I shop at, if you want the exact elastic I use, the exact this, like, I will tell you anything and everything. I don't gatekeep. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.